Uh, Today we have to discuss how to design our form and related all property how can use as like a input box, then we can use as a your checkbox, list box, drop down, all things when whatever the design the form. So what are the attributes, what are the properties are required. So all things we have to see in today's lectures. So with help of the what are the rest of the attribute is there, when button click is there, all things and whatever the required for the design your form. So all things we have to discuss in today. So forms, form nothing but in tradition process what we can do that. So just you can whatever the fill up that name address like a phone number you can put it, then your gender you can write it, then your address, and then you can write a city, all things you can fill up in handwritten form. Same things we can do with help of the your design your html form. So on the basis same things we can do with electronic media. So html having given a facility, they given a tags. So with help of tags you can design a same like your handwritten form into electronic form. So what are the forms? HTML form is an area of the document that allows user to enter information into fields. Fields nothing but you have to enter as a name nothing but you can enter the as a text. So text you can enter as a your alphabet. Whatever the name is there you can put it. So that is called as a fields. So this field is nothing but in technical and tag is input type is there. So with help of that you can put as a text. So you can enter the information. A form may be used collect the personal information, opinions in polls, user preference, and other kind of information. So this form is already you can fill your Gmail ID. You can make your Ready account. So whatever the you can whatever the means mailing facility of a site is there. So that case is mandatory. You should be fill the forms. Suppose you have to do the online register railway reservation there, then your airline reservation there. So you can fill up with your forms and then it generate your login in password. On the basis you can reservation of ticket of your railway, reservation of your air reservation, the same like a bus reservation. Same things we can design here with help of the html form. Forms, there are two basic components of a web form: the shell, the part of user fill out, and the script which process the information. So html tags is used to create the form shell. Using html you can create a text box, radio button, text box, drop downs, menu, and more. So requirement of your all form tags, so you can write within a form tags. These are the rest of the tag is there as same like in ready button, checkbox, text box. You can write within a form tag. Form is your head tags. Within you can rest of the tags you can use it. So you forget the form tag, so it is having the not making the design your form. So the basic requirement of you can write a first forms and then rest of the attributes you can use it. Same like this is a just general example. In this example what we can see that, so the form nothing but this is your caption is nothing but label. The label is nothing but you can enter the names. So this is called as a text box. So in technically that fills nothing but every as per the in his property is given a name. So text nothing but a text box you can enter it. So left side whatever the you can see that this is a caption, this is the your a label, and these are the fields. So with help of what you can there, so you can enter the your name, you can enter the last name. After that they're having the what in a, many time you can see that you can select a country, you can select your state, you can select a district. So that time it's required that drop down menu. So drop down menu is nothing but you can select one of this. There is another things where there is a two difference in between. What is difference between list box and drop down menu? Drop down menu nothing but you can select it one of among this. So rest of the 10 fields are there, 10 values there, you should be select with this. List of atom is nothing but you can select a multiple option as like your education qualification. That time you can use a list box. So with help of you can write your 12th, you can write a graduation, then your post graduation. This is the way you can select a multiple option. So that time you can use it. So what attributes, what are the fields are important as per the requirement you can use it. Same like a next is having the radio button. So radio button is also you can select most of the times is used for to make a gender when you can design form. So that time gender is nothing but male, female and others. So this you can select within that. Another difference between ready box and checkbox. Checkbox nothing but you can select many. Same like means what we can see that with help of that just you can see that this is a box and this is a select. This is a select nothing but you can select a multiple option. As a red color you can select a black color, you can multiple way you can select it. So check box most of the times, as suppose you can check box as your what we can say that many option you can select. You have in the language. Um, how many known of your language? You have to know about Marathi, you know about the Hindi, you know about an English. So this is a that type the language you can select a three language. Those having don't know about an English, so you can select as Marathi and Hindi. So this is a multiple option you can select. As same like in previous radio button, you can select one of this. You can many option is available, but within that you can select only the single one. So that is use of that. Another having the text area. What is difference between a text box and text area? Text box is having the some limit. This is some length. You have to most of times last time main first name last name you can use it, but you can write address. Address nothing but multiple lines are required, multiple lines. So that time you can use as the text area. Text box nothing but having the limitation within line is there, but multiple line you can use. So that time you should be used as a text area. So this option nothing but there is a property you can select how many text use require, how many alphabet is required, how many spaces is required, you can use it. So you can see that this is a what we can say that is horizontal bar. Suppose you have to write many characters there. Just I select for the 100 of the text is there. So length is 100. So the line having the what? So you can first line there is a 10 line of characters, then second like that. Multiple line is there. So this is with help of your horizontal bar you can go to the down. So that time you can use as a text area. Another option you can write a button. Button is properties is used for whatever the value you can put it as a text box, you can drop down ready button and check box. So all record you want to submit it. This form is already you can see that you can create your account of the Gmail, you can create the account of and Reddit. So there's that time you can use it. So another thing is that you can just you can reset fill the your means create a login of your then irct.com. So your make account. So that time these are the form is required. So with help of all the record are submitted nothing but you have to make a database is all record you can fill it. So that time when submits all record whatever this field is selected automatically save in a database. On the basis you can check as a radio means you submit, so that time create the your all boxes. So you can login name and password you can enter, and behind all record are exist. So in database is nothing but you can save the entire record of your form, related mobile number, all things you can fill it. So this is a just you can design form. So there is another good concept is their validations. In validation nothing but in first name it should be enter the character. So with help of the many with help of the javascript you can use as a what we can say that we have to provide the what we can say validation. So this field is used only the character, you could not be used as in a first name it's having not a single number. So this is a way we can use the validation. So that facility is always available in a javascript. So you can bind with your that javascript code within your html form. So as your mobile phone you should be enter the only the number. So these are the validation you can provide with this form using your javascript. So this is the way you can the button is there, there is a click event is available, you can click on that your entire record will be visualized. So that is the events. So when we can submit the form, so all record are saved in a database, so that is you can use it. So another concepts in a next form shells. Form shells has a three important parts. The form tags, which include address script, which process the form. The form element like a text box, ready button, the submit button, which trigger the script and send the entire information to the server. When static page you can design your using the html. If you use this like a server scripting, client scripting and server scripting. So in html just a static page you can design. When you can write a database connectivity, that time you have to require that just as a asp.net, then you can use a php. So with help of that you can connect your server side scripting. When you click on that your information sent to the your database, so that time that is enter information to the server. So that time you can use as a combination of your front end and back end and server side scripting programming. Creating shell, that is a very important part that. So when we can create your form, so that time you can use as a form form. The method is post, the action is nothing but you what action you can provide. So you can use a script underscore url, where a script url is the address of the script. Create the forms element end with and closing form is a very important part when server side scripting is there. So you can use a post method and a gate method. So your data will be the proceed to the database. So that time you have to use a post methods and gate method. So your information sent to the database. With help of the post, your data whatever you can enter automatically is transferred to database or server. So that time you could not be visualized on url. So you can use a post and get method in a server side scripting. Your data will be transferred through the url, but you can means that all record will be visualized on your all scripting. So in url you can visualize. So most of time the post method is using main important things that creating the text box, whatever the name is there, first name and last name. So the you have to know about an properties as the input type. Input types nothing but you have to use a text. The name is a property, you can write a name. So the first name f name is there, last name you can use it. value is nothing but what value is required, you can write value. Size nothing but length, so you can put it. When you can use the text area, so maximum size you can provide, so that is a call as a text area. Multiple character, multiple line you can enter it, so that time you can use it. The name, value, size and max length attributes are optional. Main important thing is input type equal to text is a mandatory. So with help of that, and the rest of the thing is having the option. So it is not mandatory you have to write a name. So that is identification of that your text field. The value is also it is not mandatory, size is not mandatory, and max length attribute is all are the options. So you can use it, otherwise you could not be used. Text box. In text box, name attribute is used to identify the text box processes script. Value attribute used to specify the text that will be initialized appear in the text box. The size attribute used to define the size of box, a character. The size nothing but just you can whatever the number of character is there, just you can specify a size. Max length attribute used to define the maximum number of character can type in the box. When you can use the text area, so most of times max length is very important. Otherwise site is sufficient for the your input box, so that is sufficient. When you can use the text area, that property you want to set it, so max length is very important part. This is a very good example there. In this example what we can see this, in this case when we can use a text box, so text box nothing but first name is having the label whatever you can see in this sides. First name is input type is equal to text, then you can write name. Name is nothing but this is all are the option, but you can use it name, and then you can put as values, and then you can write a size 20. The size 20 nothing but you have to write a 20 character. The first name, there is a space in between, you can see that all things that you can write it uh, first space name, that is a value. So this is you can see that the first name, the br nothing but a break line nothing but space in between the labels and your input types box. So another you can write a label, it is not required that this says this property is important. Br nothing but a break line, two break lines there, so you can use. Then last name, input type is a text, so that is a property. The name, you can write a last name, the value is the last space name, you can use it, and the size is a 20. Once again a br. So this is a property you can use as a input box. So this is the property every time when you can use your text box, so that time at least you have to remember, so what property you can set it. So input, and then you can write a type text. So whatever the character you can enter it, so that thing is you need the password, as like I give the password, so this property you can set it. So password nothing but whatever the character you can use as asterisk sign, so that is the password. So that case what is you can then on the type you can write a password, password. So that time your all the whatever the enter the input text automatically convert into asterisk sign. So with help of that password you can use it, that time the input type equal to password. So with help of your all the character, whatever the character you can enter is all show on in front of you only the asterisk signs. So security purpose is that property is very important. Text input type is just password is there. So all things are character will be visualized as only the your asterisk sign. You can use the hash symbol, any symbol you can write it. So another, creating the large text area. Text area, to create a text, larger text area, type the text area name. Then you can write how many rows are required, how many columns are required. WRAP is there, default text is having the text area. Where N1 is the height of the text box in a row, N2 is the width the text box in a character. WRAP is the attribute, cause the cursor to move the automatically to the next line to the user. So in this example you can write it, b is nothing but is a property as a bold, then a break line, takes area name, comments. Previous example you can see that comments, first example, rows, 10 rows are required, columns are required the 50. Then you can w wrap is very important, so then after you can close it. So this is a example you can use as a input type is a text, another input type is a password. Then you can write a text area, name it. Then you can write that whatever the label is there you can write it, and then you can close a text area. That is, this is a very mandatory that you can close. When you can open that you should be closed. That is a procedure when you can use the HTML tag. So in today's lecture we have to discuss about the form tags. Form is a mandatory, within that you can write input types, and then you can write a text area, then you can write a input type is a password. So this is the way we can use as the form tags. So rest of tags we have to discuss in a next lectures. Thank you so much.